Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, so we are reading from chapter 4, Canto 4, chapter 23. Maharaj Prithu's going back home. Are we to start from 29th onwards? Right? Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So we will read the translations. Translation of 29th. Somebody is having the mic? Yes.
The great sage Maitreya continued speaking. My dear Vidura, when the wives of the denizens of heaven were thus talking amongst themselves, Queen Archi reached the planet which her husband, Maharaj Prithu, the topmost self-realized soul, had attained.
Yeah. So Prabhupada writes that in this shloka the word comes Pati Loka. So Prabhupada writes that there is no planet called as Pati Loka, but then wherever the Pati went, that Loka, that is Vaikuntha. And then he talks about the Bhaktivinoda Thakur, how he converted his home into a spiritual world. Yeah. And then, okay, somebody can read the last para according to Bhaktivinoda Thakur.
According to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, also, a husband and wife can turn the home into a place as good as Vaikuntha, even while in this material world. Being absorbed in Krishna consciousness, even in this world, husband and wife can live in Vaikuntha simply by installing the deity of the Lord within the home and serving the deity according to the directions of the Shastras. In this way, they will never feel the sex urge. That is the test of advancement in devotional service. One who is advanced in devotional service is never attracted by sex life. And as soon as one becomes detached from sex life and proportionately attached to the service of the Lord, he actually experiences living in the Vaikuntha planets. In the ultimate issue, there is actually no material world. But when one forgets the service of the Lord and engages himself in the service of his senses, he is said to be living in the material world.
Yeah. So here Prabhupada says that in one sense there is no distinction between spiritual world and material world. When the service is in the forefront of the Lord, then whichever place is there, that becomes the Vaikuntha. That pastime is there of the devotee who created an garden and lake for Balaji. Ananta Alvar. So once when he was picking up the flowers, the black cobra came and bit him. And then he was into his own world only. He didn't even recognize that one snake came and bit him. But another, his assistant saw that snake came, bit him and went. So he was very concerned. He came running, told that, we have to do something. He said, what happened? He said, snake bit. So he said, then don't worry, he said. He said, how will not worry? He said that, first you tell me which snake you are talking about. Are you talking about the snake which is there in my heart, having so much of poison, lust, anger, greed, envy? Are you talking about that snake, or you are talking about a small snake who goes around on the earth? So then he said that I am talking about that outsider snake. He said, still there is no problem, because even if he has bit me, whoever is more strong poison will win. If the inside poison is more, then nothing will happen. And if the outside poison is more, then I will die. And he said, in both cases, if I live, I'll serve Balaji here. If I die, I'll go to Vaikuntha and serve Balaji there. So there is no problem. So for a devotee it is like that. There is no constraint of place, time, circumstance when it comes to serve the Lord. So here the Prabhupada says that the real symptom is how the sex urge reduces, and that is a sign of spiritual advancement. He says that in this way they will never feel the sex urge. That is the test of advancement in devotional service. That whoever gets taste in spiritual life, then he leaves the taste in sex life, which is considered highest in terms of material enjoyment. Yeah. Text 30.
Maitreya continued, the greatest of all devotees, Maharaj Prithu, was very powerful, and his character was liberal, magnificent, and magnanimous. Thus I have described him to you as far as possible.
Yeah, text 31.
Any person who describes the great characteristics of King Prithu with faith and determination, whether he reads or hears of them himself or helps others to hear of them, is certain to attain the very planet which Maharaj Prithu attended. In other words, such a person also returns home to the Vaikuntha planet, back to Godhead.
So, he says, so 31st to 36 is the Falashruti. So, the Falashruti is that those who are hearing, reading, remembering the characteristic of Prithu Maharaj with faith and determination, then such person achieve the same planet which Maharaj Prithu has attained. That shows the power of hearing. So what Prithu Maharaj achieved, the same thing can be achieved by hearing about Prithu Maharaj. Okay. Text 32.
If one hears of the characteristics of Prathu Maharaj and is a Brahmin, he becomes perfectly qualified with Brahminical powers. If he is a Kshatriya, he becomes a king of the world. If he is a Vaishya, he becomes a master of other Vaishyas and many animals. And if he is a Shudra, he becomes the topmost devotee.
Yeah. So it says that how everybody becomes successful in their field. That Brahmana becomes most learned, Kshatriya becomes leader of this world, Vaishya becomes master of all other Vaishyas, and the Shudra becomes devotee means he goes beyond the qualification of a Brahmana. That's what Prabhupada writes in the purport. Yeah, 33rd.
Whether one is a man or woman, anyone who with great respect hears the narration of Maharaj Prathu will become the parents of many children if without children, and will become the richest if without money.
Yeah. So जिसको जो चाहिए वो सब मिलेगा. In short. Go ahead, 34.
Also, one who hears this narration 3 times will become very reputable if he is not recognized in society. And he will become a great scholar if he is illiterate. In other words, hearing of the narration of Prathamara is so auspicious that it drives away all bad luck.
Yeah. So all bad luck is gone.
By hearing the narration of Prithu Maharaj, one can become great, increase his duration of life, gain promotion to the heavenly planets, and counteract the contaminations of this age of Kali. In addition, one can promote the causes of religion, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. Therefore, from all sides, it is advisable for a materialistic person who is interested in such things to read and hear the narrations of the life and character of Prithu Maharaj.
Yeah, Prabhupada writes, Akamo sarva kamo va moksha kamo darathi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. Text 36.
If a king who is desirous of attaining victory and ruling power chants the narration of Prithu Maharaj 3 times before going forth on his chariot, all subordinate king will automatically render all kinds of taxation unto him as they rendered them unto Maharaj Prithu simply upon his order.
Yeah. Thirty-seven.
A pure devotee who is executing the different processes of devotional service may be situated in the transcendental position, being completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness. But even he, while discharging devotional service, must hear, read, and induce others to hear about the character and life of Prithu Maharaj.
Translation. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidur, I have as far as possible spoken the narrations about Prithu Maharaj, which enriches one's devotional attitude. Whoever takes advantage of these benefits also goes back home, back to Godhead, like Maharaj Prithu.
Yeah. So that's how he is saying that Prithu Maharaj's story is the most to be heard as much as possible for getting all the benefits. Then text 39.
Whoever, with great reverence and adoration, regularly reads, chants, and describes the history of Maharaj Prithu activities would certainly increase unflinching faith and attraction for the lotus feet of the Lord. The Lord's lotus feet are boat by which one can cross the ocean of knee signs.
Yeah. So that's how he says, Bhava Sindhu Pot Pade. That Pota means the boat, and then the boat which takes one out of this material samsara sagara. Okay. So we have completed this 22nd and 23rd chapter, and we are starting with this last chapter, that is 24th chapter, chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva. So the first till 15th of shloka there is a genealogy of Prithu Maharaj, how his different sons, specifically Vijitashva, which is given here, and then some more information about the dynasty. Text 1, translation. Who is reading? Yeah.
The great sage Maitreya continued, Vijitasva, the eldest son of Maharaj Prithu, who had a reputation like his father's, became emperor and gave his younger brothers different directions of the world to govern, for he was very affectionate towards his brothers.
Yeah. Text second. So how he divided the whole earth, that is given.
Maharaj Vijit Sava offered the eastern part of the world to his brother Haryaksha, the southern part to Dhumrakesha, the western part to Brika, and the northern part to Darwin.
Yeah. Next shloka, third shloka.
Formerly, Maharaj Vijisava pleased the king of heaven Indra, and from him received the title Antardhana. His wife's name was Sikha Nindini, and by her he begot 3 good sons.
Yeah. So this Vichitashva is referred here as Antardhana. So why Antardhana? Because when the Prithu Maharaj's horse sacrifice was going on, and then King Indra used to steal it. So King Indra used to come in disguise, not only disguise, but in the body which nobody can see. In Antardhan state only he will come. So, and when he will steal the horse, nobody used to see him except Vijitashva. So he used to see Indra. But still, out of respect for Indra, understanding that this is not ordinary thief, he is like king of the Devatas, he didn't say anything. So that's how King Indra was little pleased with him, that he allowed and he didn't take. And that's how then the Brahmanas became little, they felt they have to take things in hand, vagara. So, yeah. Text 4.
Translation. The three sons of Maharaj Antardhana were named Pavaka, Pavamana, and Suchi. Formerly, these three personalities were the demigods of fire. But due to the curse of the great sage Vasishtha, they became the sons of Maharaj Antardhana. As such, they were as powerful as the fire gods, and they attained the destination of mystic yoga power, being again situated as the demigods of fire.
Yeah. Text 5.
Maharaj Antardhana had another wife named Nabhaswati, and by her he was happy to beget another son named Havirdhana. Since Maharaj Antardhan was very liberal, he did not kill Indra while the demigod was stealing his father's horse at the sacrifice.
Yeah. So here, see that Maharaj Antardhan was very liberal. He did not kill Indra while the demigod was stealing his father's horses at the sacrifice. Prabhupada writes in the purport that sometimes when the great devotees they commit such activity, the same punishment cannot be given as other normal people. Then he quotes Apichet Suduracharo. Yeah. So we can see also that when a devotee is this happened once that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was invited to open the temple, and then he went, and opening temple means you know that it's like a big festival, and then the first arti and things like that. So first arti is always done by the acharya, whoever is presiding acharya, and then everybody knew that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is supposed to do that. Everywhere he used to do that. So the in charge of that temple who was there, and then he was waiting for Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to come and now open the altar and then do first puja. And then time was going. You know, it's like everywhere it happens like that. And then he was so much in tension that it has to be opened in time. Many other guests have come, and then further things are there. And then somebody come that maybe इतना टाइम हो गया तो अभी भक्तिसिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर शायद नहीं आएंगे. दूसरा बोला हाँ हाँ शायद. So then taking that as kind of thing, he only opened the thing and then did it. And when he was doing offering, he saw that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came. And then you can imagine what would have happened. So he became like, he couldn't understand, and was like, what is happening? So he felt so guilty and sorry, and other people must have given so much of gali to him. And then the whole thing happened, and then so this devotee was feeling so guilty that he couldn't even stand in front of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and go and ask, please forgive me, vagara, because that was too much. So then he told one of his other devotee that please go and ask forgiveness on my behalf that I did such a silly thing. So then he went and told Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur reply was very amazing. He said, no, there is no problem. He said, there is no wrong. He said, a devotee can never do anything wrong. he said. Even if it may appear wrong, devotee is never wrong. And he said it may appear that non-devotee is doing right. That is never right. He said, so that was the reply of Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur. So he said that his intention was to safeguard that time place. So that is no problem. He also wanted to serve Krishna. I also came to serve Krishna. And then there is no issue. So that's how Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur was looking at it. So here also we see that Vijitashva was, he didn't take action on King Indra. Understanding that he is a great personality, like that. Okay. Text 6.
Whenever Antardhan, the supreme royal power, had to exact taxes, punish his citizens, or fine them severely, he was not willing to do so. Consequently, he retired from the execution of such duties and engaged himself in the performance of different sacrifices.
Yeah. So Prabhupada compares that to Arjuna not fighting. So like that. Text 7.
Although Maharaj Antardhan was engaged in performing sacrifices, because he was a self-realized soul, he very intelligently rendered devotional service to the Lord, who eradicates all fears of his devotees. By thus worshipping the Supreme Lord, Maharaj Antardhan, wrapped in ecstasy, attained his planet very easily.
Yeah. Okay. Text 8.
Havirdhan, the son of Maharaj Antardhan, had a wife named Havirdhani, who gave birth to 6 sons named Barisat, Gai, Shukla, Krishna, Satya, and Jitavrata.
Yeah. 9th. Loudly.
The great sage Maitra continued, My dear Vidura, Havirdhan's very powerful son named Barhishat was very expert in performing various kinds of fruitive sacrifices, and he was also expert in the practice of mystic yoga. By his great qualifications, he became known as Prajapati.
Yeah. 10th.
Maharaj Barishat executed many sacrifices all over the world. He scattered kusha grasses and kept the tops of the grasses pointed eastward.
Yeah. So, Maharaj, this Barhishat, executed so many sacrifices all over the world that it was like the whole world was covered with kusha like that. And then Prabhupada gives very nice purport that the way Maharaj Barhishat was performing yajnas all over the world, immediate vicinity, so many yajnas that the whole world was covered with grass. Similarly, we also should do Sankirtan Yajna, so much so that the whole world should be covered with that. Thousands of people should gather and take part. And then Prabhupada writes, imperceptible auspiciousness achieved in this connection should be continued all over the world. The members of Krishna consciousness movement should perform Sankirtan Yajna one after another. So much that all the people of the world will either jokingly or seriously chant Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare,
Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
And thus they will derive the benefit of cleansing the heart. The holy name of the Lord, Hare Nama, is so powerful that whether it is chanted jokingly or seriously, the effect of vibrating this transcendental sound will be equally distributed. Yeah. Okay, text 11.
Maharaj Bharishit, henceforward known as Prachin Bhari, was ordered by Supreme Demigod Lord Brahma to marry the daughter of ocean named Shatadruti. Her bodily features were completely beautiful and she was very young. She was decorated with proper garments, and when she came into marriage arena and began to circumambulating it, the fire god Agni became so attracted to her that he desired her company exactly as he had formerly desired to enjoy Suki.
Yeah. Okay. So, Prabhupada writes about the how the sex attraction remains in every body, whether it is lower body, whether it is human body, whether it is demigod body. You will find that this contamination is there in all bodies. Text 12.
While Shatadhuti was thus being married, the demons, the denizens of the Gandharva Loka, the great sages, and the denizens of the Siddhaloka, the earthly planets of and Nagalok, although highly exalted, were all captivated by the tinklings of her ankle bells.
Yeah. So here in the purport also it is said that the power of lust is so that these people have not seen also her, that she is covered. They were attracted by tinkling of ankle belts only. So how can somebody attracted to the bell sound? गाय के कंठ में भी रहता है ऐसे टिंग टिंग, तो टिंकलिंग बेल तो कहीं पे भी रहता है. Why? What is so much fantasy about tinkling bells? Huh? Yeah. So meditation is always like that. That mind imagines. So when you hear tinkling bells, then you imagine that some beautiful woman must be coming, passing by. And then when you actually see, then you see there 150 kilo woman walking with her majestic elephantine style, you know. So then you feel, okay, it's elephant. I thought that it is, you know, hiran aa gaya, lekin. So we see that mind has that power to imagine like that. So that's why it is always advised not to come in touch with anything which can agitate mind like that. So like this comes in as we advance in spiritual life, this stage comes in the bhava stage and other, that is called as uddipan. Uddipan means You understand Uddipan? Huh? Yeah, like the it is talked about this great devotees, anything they see, they go in ecstasy. Who is this devotee who is to see black clouds and then go in ecstasy? He will see peacock feather and then he'll faint. Madhavendra Puri. Of course, many are there like that. But then Madhavendra Puri was like that. That by little Uddipan, that becomes like a fire only. So, we may not be on that level, but that happens on the material plane to people. So, anything of this world becomes a catalyst to have so many material desires like that. Just seeing some costly car or seeing some young beautiful girl or seeing some things like that, then the whole consciousness is filled for next few hours like that. So that is the current stage. So that's why to the degree we follow proper rules and regulations of brahmachari ashram, then we will be not kind of entangled in this kind of will not susceptible to falling in this trap of, because so that's why some things are there which we need to be careful of. For example, when we are going in our temple hall, so when you go in the morning, everybody keeps their chappals like that. So by mistakenly also we should not step on Mataji's shoes. So what happens is, looking at Mataji's shoes only, we start imagining the form, start imagining everything comes like that. So now there is nothing, it's just a shoe. So anything which can ignite, one should be careful of. Can you give some examples? You have many examples, huh? Huh? Yeah, ladies' clothes shops. We don't have to, peep inside what type of dresses are there. What else? Billboards. Billboards are also very dangerous. So one devotee was telling that Indian billboards are more deadly than even American billboards. So it's like that. Yeah. Now there is a trend in America that they don't put any photo only. Many advertisements are words like that. Not because they have become very purified or something. The thing is that if they show ladies, males are offended, and if you put only male, ladies are offended. So nowadays they don't put nobody. Yeah, if you put American man, Africans are offended, black man. So then they don't put anything. They just put some cartoons वगैरह like that. It's like that. So the whole civilization becomes like cartoon when you have so complex things. So whatever is there, so we have to be careful in such kind of things which will kind of, we have to be careful not to even go in that direction even a bit. That's the whole thing. We should not think ourselves great and then proudly walk in dangerous zone like that. I still remember that example which I don't know who gave that, but this was opening of which temple it was. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj was going to his room, and then because the number was not there proper, it was just opening. So by mistake he opened one room before his room, and then he just opened little bit only. He saw one Mataji sitting inside. So the reaction of Maharaj was so sudden that he became like reflect action, that Maharaj just took his 2-3 feet back as if some big mistake has happened, and then he walked. So I think Bahadurgarh.
वो डोनर की फैमिली रुकी थी वो बड़े रूम में, और महाराज वाज लुकिंग फॉर भीमा प्रभु जी. ही वांटेड टू मीट भीमा प्रभु जी, एंड देन रुक्मिणी कृष्ण प्रभु जी को लगा यही रूम है, तो महाराज ने बोला ओके. महाराज हैप्पीली दरवाजा खोल दिए, एंड वन माता जी वाज ब्रेस्ट फीडिंग द चाइल्ड, एंड महाराज वाज लाइक वेरी हेवीली शॉक्ड, एंड ही said sorry and like immediately pulled himself back. So Prabhuji tells this many times. Similar, Prabhuji tells that once he was showing Janmashtami stalls to Maharaj, and Maharaj was seeing one stall after another. I have seen Maharaj seeing the stalls in Rath Yatra pandals here in Jew also. So suddenly at one stall, when Maharaj reached, crossed this one and went to the next one, so it was so all young ladies. And as soon as Maharaj entered that stall and he saw all the young ladies, he was shocked. Prabhuji says, as if a new boy, a young brahmachari, that kind of Maharaj was shocked, and he pulled himself back and controlled, and immediately left after talking very briefly. But Maharaj was very heavy shock reaction Maharaj gave. And then Maharaj was told, Maharaj, this is girls forum, IYF girls, like that. Similarly, Damodar Gaurav Prabhuji tells, when Maharaj was going to ENT doctor in Andheri, that lift ENT doctor in Andheri, Prabhuji told in his Bhagavatam class also. So Maharaj was about to go in the lift to doctor's floor, and when the lift was about to close, that time when Mataji entered, and Maharaj, Damodar Gaurav Prabhuji, and then Mataji, and Maharaj was like, awe, and Damodar Gaurav Prabhuji did not do anything. The moment Darwaja was about to close, Maharaj ran out of the lift, and Damodar Gaurav Prabhu also ran behind Maharaj, and he was thinking, 3 minutes only remaining, doctor will close, and if we don't catch the lift now, we will miss the appointment. Then Maharaj went out, then he was looking towards Maharaj, ki kya ho gaya? So Maharaj understood. Maharaj looked towards him and said, brahmacharis and sannyasis, they should never be alone with Mataji in any room. So he was thinking, we were not alone, we were two. But Damodar Gaurav was telling that Maharaj was so worried that we are brahmachari sannyasis, we should not be alone with Matajis. So Maharaj came out of many such pastimes. Even Srila Radhanath Maharaj के भी कई pastimes मैंने सुने हैं कि माताजी, कोई young माताजी अमेरिकन मंदिर में थी, and Maharaj was very concerned कि अरे देखो वहाँ पर है और ब्रह्मचारीज हैं मंदिर में. आपने सुना ही होगा प्रभु जी. एक बार कोई बता रहा था कि महाराज ने अर्जेंटली बोला कि शायद राधेश्याम प्रभु जी बोल रहे थे कि महाराज ने बोला कि अर्जेंटली फ़ोन करो, ब्रह्मचारी को पूछो कि वो कहाँ है, यात्रा में नहीं आया। तो बोले महाराज उन्हें आया, मंदिर में ही है। तो महाराज बोले उसको फ्लाइट से बुलाओ यात्रा में अभी, वो नहीं रहना चाहिए, वहाँ पर एक यंग माता जी है मंदिर में जो फॉरनर।
Yeah. So, we should not be just happy hearing these pastimes, but then we also like so today only I was hearing in one of the lecture Maharaj was telling that, I think it was initiation lecture. So Maharaj was telling in that we don't advance by taking the vow, we advance by keeping the vow. Like that you are telling. So, similarly,
very sweet way of saying very heavy thing.
Yeah. So next 13. Yes.
Form of a woman.
Photo? Yeah, yeah. Actually, it is very many times the आपका point है, उनका point है. Good, okay. Okay. So nowadays, because media is there, and then anything goes viral. So we should not have photos with Matajis. Like all are Matajis and one, like Raslila photo type. Sometimes it happens. 4-5 Matajis want to take photo with one brahmachari. So such photos we should avoid. We should call 2-3 more people and then take photo like that. Okay. Text 13. मंदिर आप दे दो। हाँ तो आप समझ लो। No, that's why we specifically when there is crowd, where there is so much of pushing, pulling is there, we should not enter into such crowd where there is practically you can't do anything. You are like smashed in the crowd. So one should be careful. Yesterday only I was just taking darshan in that वो एक डोनर के साथ गया था तो पूरा so then I had to take shelter of the security to make the way like that. So one has to be careful. No, some things we can't do anything, so we just avoid like that. So what to do? So my spiritual master was telling that where he was staying in the temple was on the top of hill, and then he was a pujari. He has to take care of the cows. And then the brahmachari ashram was down, and top pujari, that is he, goshala, and brahmacharini ashram was there. So it was like that. So he said that when the Mangalarti used to be there, he was telling that I used to just stand next to the deities so that I don't see, behind. And then is to say that I used to chant 16 rounds before Mangalarti so that I'll have capacity to stand there without getting disturbed. And then to tell that my only female companion was cow, whom I used to milk, take care. Huh? Yeah. So that's how the thing is. So sometimes we are put in such situation to test. So then we pass that test like that. We can't run away. We can't. Just like that. Text 13.
King Prachin Bhari begot 10 children in the womb of Shatadruti. All of them were equally endowed with the religiosity, and all of them were known as the Prachitas.
Yeah. Text 14.
King Pachin Barhi begot 10 children.
No,
14.
14.
When all these Prachetas were ordered by their father to marry and beget children, they all entered the ocean and practiced austerities and penances for 10,000 years. Thus they worshipped the master of all austerity, the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes, to perform austerities, they entered not mountains or forest. They went to the ocean. So this is in Satyuga. Yeah. Text 15.
When all the sons of Prachin Barihi left home to execute austerities, they met Lord Shiva, who, out of great mercy, instructed them about the absolute truth. All the sons of Prachin Barihi meditated upon the instructions, chanting and worshipping them with great care and attention.
So you see here that Lord Shiva became their spiritual master, and then gave all these 10 sons of Prachina Barhi, Prachitas, this song which was sung by Lord Shiva. Okay.
Text 15. 16.
Text 16, yeah.
Vidura asked Maitreya, "My dear Brahmana, why did the Prachetas meet Lord Shiva on the way? Please tell me how the meeting happened, how Lord Shiva became very pleased with them, and how he instructed them. Certainly, such talks are important, and I wish that you please be merciful upon me and describe them."
Yeah. So that was the Vidura asking Maitreya. Text 17.
The great sage Vidura continued, O best of Brahmanas, it is very difficult for living entities engaged within this material world, in this material body, to have personal contact with Lord Shiva. Even great sages who have no material attachments do not contact him, despite their always being absorbed in meditation to attain his personal contact.
Yeah. So, in the purport, Prabhupada writes that how Lord Shiva is not seen, or he is seen very rarely. And he says how he appears as a Brahmana in this age for spreading Mayavad philosophy in the form of Shankaracharya. Yeah. Okay. Text 18.
Lord Shiva, the most powerful demigod, second only to Lord Vishnu, is self-sufficient. Although he has nothing to aspire for in the material world, for the benefit of those in the material world, he is always busily engaged everywhere and is accompanied by his dangerous energies like the goddess Kali and goddess Durga.
Yeah. So in the purport, Prabhupada talks about how the Lord Shiva is a Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu, and then he is also one of the Swayambhu Narada Shambhu, Kumaro Kapilo Manuhu, Prahlado Janako Bhishmo, Balir Vaiyasaki Vayam. So he is one of the 12 Mahajanas. So we see that Lord Shiva has different roles to play, and whoever approaches him in particular role, that role he plays. If we approach him as Vaishnava, then he plays the role as a Vaishnava. If we approach him as demigod, then he will behave like a demigod. So we see here that then he talks about the Sampradayas, and then how Shankaracharya appeared to teach Mayavad, but at the end of his life, he wrote this Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam Moodhamate, stressing the how one should serve Govinda, like that. Okay. Okay. Text 19.
The great says Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, because of their pious nature, all the sons of Prachina Barhi very seriously accepted the words of their father with heart and soul, and with these words on their heads, they went towards the west to execute their father's order.
Yeah. So here Prabhupada writes that how they were considered sadhavaha because they were very obedient. And then he says that father, king, spiritual master are to be obeyed. Yeah. He says the word Shirasa on their head is also significant. For the Prachetas accepted the order of their father and carried them on their heads, which means they accepted them in complete surrender. Text 20.
While traveling, the Prachetas happened to see a great reservoir of water, which seemed almost as big as the ocean. The water of this lake was so calm and quiet that it seemed like the mind of a great soul, and its inhabitants, the aquatics, appeared very peaceful and happy to be under the protection of such a watery reservoir.
Yeah. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that how this calm and cool that is only possible by anya abhilashita shunyam. Any abhilasha makes that calm, cool thing disturbed. Yeah. Okay. Text 21.
In that great lake there were different types of lotus flowers. Some of them were bluish and some of them were red. Some of them grew at night, some in the day, and some like the Indivara lotus flower in the evening. Combined together, the lotus flowers filled the lake so full that the lake appeared to be a great mine of such flowers. Consequently, on the shores there were swans and cranes, chakravak, karandava, and other beautiful water birds standing about.
Yeah. So this is a very picturesque description of the lake which they entered. Yeah. Text 22.
There were various trees and creepers on all sides of the lake, and there were mad bumblebees humming all about them. The trees appeared to be very jolly due to the sweet humming of the bumblebees, and the saffron, which was contained in the lotus flower, was being thrown into the air. These all created such an atmosphere that it appeared as thought a festival were taking place there.
So we can see that so much of very detailed description is there, that which flowers and which birds, and I had also lot of details they come, how they were hearing the songs of Gandharvas. So we see that like many devotees who met Prabhupada, they know and they remember with such great detail, and that's how we have so many pastimes of Prabhupada with lot of details, and whom he said and how he said. So we see that even His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj writes in so much detail that on particular day when he paid obeisances, Prabhupada was sitting, and then how there was flower vase, which type of flowers were there, and then to that details he goes. So we see that spiritual, the kind of activities when somebody is doing, the impression is very great. So to the degree that impression is there, to that degree people they remember everything practically. Text 23.
The sons of the king became very much amazed when they heard vibrations from various drums and kettle drums, along with other orderly musical sounds pleasing to the ear.
Yeah. So they were hearing very amazing sounds by the Gandharvas. Text 24-25, now Lord Shiva appears.
The Prachetas were fortunate to see Lord Shiva, the chief of the demigods, emerging from the water with his associates. His bodily luster was just like molten gold, his throat was bluish, and he had 3 eyes which looked very mercifully upon his devotees. He was accompanied by many musicians who were glorifying him. As soon as the Prachetas saw Lord Shiva, they immediately offered their obeisances in great amazement and fell down at the lotus feet of the Lord.
Yeah. So Prabhupada writes about the description, because here it says that his bodily luster was just like molten gold. His throat was bluish. So Prabhupada writes that he was accompanied by so many Gandharvas and Kinnaras and singers, and Prabhupada writes, in the picture Lord Shiva is generally painted white, but here we find that the color of his skin is not exactly white, but like a molten gold or glowing yellowish color. Yeah. This Vrukasura's story also is there, that how he was asking benediction from him. This comes in connection of how he is Ashutosha. Text 26. सफ़ेद नहीं है वो, he is molten gold. That's what Prabhupada is telling. Generally he is painted white, but he is not white. I don't know our, but then even Vitthal also is considered white, Panduranga. The story is that when he returns from the forest with cows, Godhuli is there everywhere, so that gives him very special darshan. So here also, maybe, because Lord Shiva is putting bhasma all over. Yeah.
You know, some devotees, very seniors, they say he is Krishna. And then this explanation that, you know, when he's returning after herding cows, that the Godhuli is golden whitish, that gives him the color.
Yeah.
Panduranga. So then how to understand the situation? Prabhupada is telling is Vishnu. And some senior Vaishnavas they are telling is Krishna.
So
I'm sorry, this is a side question. I'm sorry.
of course he is like a Dwarka Krishna, not Vrindavan Krishna. He came from Dwarka. So in that sense, if Prabhupada is telling that he is Vishnu, I don't know. I can't comment on that. But then he is Krishna directly coming from there to bless Muchakunda, like that. Because he is staying there with Rukmini. So Rukmini is not Vishnu's wife. Vishnu's wife is so like that. Okay, so where are we? 26. Okay. So 26, how Shiva was pleased with Prachetas. Read.
Lord Shiva became very pleased with Prachetas because generally Lord Shiva is the protector of pious persons and persons of gentle behavior. Being very much pleased with the princess, he began to speak as follows.
Text 27.
Lord Shiva said, "You are all the sons of King Prachin Bari, and I wish all good fortune to you. I also know what you are going to do, and therefore I am visible to you just to show my mercy upon you."
So here Lord Shiva appeared, as in the purport also Prabhupada writes that Lord Shiva knew why they have come, what they are going to do, and in that he knew that they have come to please Lord Vishnu only with their austerities and things like that. So that's how Lord Shiva came to help them in that worship to Lord Vishnu. And then that's how he says that I am very pleased because you are going for pleasing Lord Vishnu. Yeah. Now 28. Lord Shiva describes why he is pleased with them. So we'll chant, some of the shlokas we'll chant. Yaha param rahasa sakshad triguna sannhitat bhagavantam vasudevam prapannaha sa priyo hime.
Lord Shiva continued, any person who is surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, the controller of everything, material nature as well as the living entity, is actually very dear to me.
Yeah. So he says that whoever is surrendered to Krishna is very dear to me. And because you are surrendered to Krishna, I am pleased with you, and that's how I have come. Yeah. Prabhupada gives the big purport telling some of the like Purushottama and many Prakriti. So some words which has come in that shloka, Prabhupada describes. Okay. Text 29. So here Lord Shiva is talking about how by austerities or by tapasya, worship, one achieves different goals. Brahman, or somebody reaches to Lord Shiva or Lord Vishnu, like that. Yeah, so text 29. Swadharmanishta shatajanma bhi puman
Swadharmanishtaha satajanma puman
virinchatameti tatah param himam
virinchitameti tatah param himam
avyakrutam bhagavato tha vaishnavam
avyakritam bhagavato
padam yathaham vibudha kalatyate.
padam yataham vibudha kalatye. A person who executes his occupational duty properly for 100 births becomes qualified to occupy the post of Brahma. And if he becomes more qualified, he can approach Lord Shiva. A person who is directly surrendered to Lord Krishna or Vishnu in unalloyed devotional service is immediately promoted to the spiritual planets. Lord Shiva and other demigods attain these planets after the destruction of this material world.
Yeah. So he says here that a person fixed in dharma for 100 births, he attains the post of Brahma. Somebody is more pious, then he attains Lord Shiva. And then somebody is unalloyed devotional service, then such Vaishnava attain Vaikuntha. Yeah. So these three stages, specifically attaining Brahma, Loka then the Shiva Loka and then Vaikuntha Loka is described in the purport. Text 30. अथ भगवतां यूयं क्रियास्थ भगवान् यथा न मद्भगवतानां च प्रेयानन्योऽस्ति कर्हिचित्.
You are all devotees of the Lord, and as such, I appreciate that you are as respectable as the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. I know in this way that the devotees also respect me and that I am dear to them. Thus, no one can be else dear to the devotee as I am.
So, Lord Shiva is telling that I respect devotees, devotees respect me, and to the degree devotees of Lord Vishnu love Krishna, they love Lord Shiva also. And then Prabhupada writes, in Vrindavan there is Lord Shiva's temple called Gopishwar. The gopis used to worship not only Lord Shiva but Katyayani or Durga as well. But their aim was to attain the favor of Lord Krishna. A devotee of Lord Krishna does not disrespect Lord Shiva but worships Lord Shiva as the most exalted devotee of Lord Krishna. Consequently, whenever a devotee worships Lord Shiva, he does not request material profit. Yeah. Okay. The last paragraph, Prabhupada talks about they do not worship him as a separate personality of Godhead. It is stated in the list of Nam Aparadhas that it is an offense to think that the chanting of the name of Hari and the chanting of Hara or Shiva are the same. So there is a difference, but then we don't discriminate or disrespect. And then Prabhupada gives the explanation of Rameshwar. Generally people they have this idea that Rameshwar means Ram ke Ishwar. But then Ram जिनके ईश्वर है वो है रामेश्वर. हाँ हाँ one is Gopishwar Mahadev and Gopesh is Krishna. So that is Gopishwar Mahadev. He is the head of the gopis like that. Somebody can read that? Indeed, Lord Ram. Last para. Last 4-5 lines. 30th.
Okay. 4-5 lines, no?
Indeed, Lord Rama, the personality of Godhead Himself, sometimes worshipped Lord Shiva. If a devotee is worshipped by the Lord, why should a devotee not be worshipped by other devotees on the same level with the Lord? This is the conclusion. From this verse, it appears that Lord Shiva blesses the Asuras simply for the sake of formality. Actually, He loves one who is devoted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yeah. So 31st.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभुजी
Yeah.
उसमें तो ये भी बोल सकते हैं ना that Lord Krishna also worship Narad Muni. He also worships Sudama. So why we should not worship? Then these people give argument. since Lord Ramchandra worshipped Shiva, so Shiva is God. So Lord Krishna also worshipped Sudama. Sudama ko bhi Bhagwan bana.
Yeah, yeah. No, this argument is given by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
Okay.
That he says that you are talking that Lord Ram worshipped Shivlinga, but that is not the only one instance. Then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gives this, that how Lord Krishna worshipped Sudama and then Lord worship. So he says that that doesn't make Sudama bigger than Supreme Personality of Godhead. So he is worshipping just as a matter of duty, as a Kshatriya, and then as a devotee, respecting him like that. Okay. Text 31. Idam viviktam japtavyam pavitram mangalam param nishreyasakaram chapi shruyatam tadvadamimi.
Now I shall chant one mantra which is not only transcendental, pure and auspicious, but is the best prayer for anyone who is aspiring to attain the ultimate goal of life. When I chant this mantra, please hear it carefully and attentively.
Yeah. So, now the Rudra Gita starts after 33rd shloka. So, in the 32nd shloka, now Maitreya is telling that how these Prachetas received this Rudra Gita. Maitreya Uvacha Ityanukrosha Hridayo Bhagavana Hatachivah Baddhanjalin Rajaputran Narayana Parovachaha.
The great sage Maitreya continued, out of his causeless mercy, the exalted personality Lord Shiva, great devotee of Lord Narayan, continued to speak to the king's son, who were standing with folded hands.
Yeah. Okay, read the purport.
Lord Shiva voluntarily came to bless the sons of king as well as do something beneficial for them. He personally chanted the mantra, that the mantra would be more powerful, and he advised that mantra be chanted by the king's sons, Rajputras. When a mantra is chanted by a great devotee, the mantra becomes more powerful. Although the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is powerful in itself, a disciple upon initiation receives the mantra from his spiritual master. For when the mantra is chanted by the spiritual master, it becomes more powerful. Lord Shiva advised the sons of king to hear him attentively, for inattentive hearing is offensive.
Yeah. So he was making them prepare to receive this Rudra Gita. So we'll hear this Rudra Gita after the break. So now it is 1:20. When we meet again?
क्या करना है? अभी 2:30 बजे तक ब्रेक करना है. कितने डिवोटीज कहते हैं कि 2 to 4? रेज हैंड्स. 2 to 4. 2 to 4. Okay. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. And 2:30 4:30. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 ऑलमोस्ट 50-50 हो गया मीन्स दोनों में सेम सेम हो गया 8-8 हो गया आप क्या प्रेफर करते हैं प्रभु जी 2:30 या 2 o'clock
whatever 2:30 is also okay
ठीक है फिर 2:30 करते हैं 2:30 4:30 करेंगे हरे कृष्ण थैंक यू एग्ज़ाम फिर कल सुबह 11 बजे करेंगे
चलो
तो 12 बजे कर लेते हैं प्रभु जी आज कंप्लीट हो जाएगा ये लग रहा है
या आज कंप्लीट
तो फिर कल 12 बजे टेस्ट कर लेते हैं प्रभु जी
हाँ
इष्ट गोष्ठी होगा 9:30-10 बजे तक
हाँ
अच्छा पुष्पांजलि देखो 12:15 बजे है तो इष्ट गोष्ठी 10 बजे तक हो जाएगा सो 10 बजे से 11 बजे हाँ
कहाँ तक आ गया
33 से चालू करना है 33 से
नहीं तो क्या करना है